Congressman Paul Ryan slamming Obamacare. He's calling it the poverty trap.
The act creates a disincentive for people to work.
The effect will be severe, as if 2.5 million people had stopped working.
It allows Americans to choose to spend more time with their family or pursue their dreams.
They do have less of an incentive to work.
Translation: Washington is making the poverty trap much worse.
The White House has been forced to spin these numbers.
This creates the opportunity for more entrepreneurship that did not exist prior to the Affordable Care Act.
By providing a subsidy, these people are better off, but they do have less of an incentive to work.
Getting more opportunities, rising their income, joining the middle class. This means fewer people will do that.
The act creates a disincentive for people to work.
The benefit of having the freedom and choice that health insurance security provides outweighs those considerations.
Fewer people are going to be working, and the economy will be slower as a result. That, to me, is just jaw-dropping.
So will Obamacare discourage people from working? Joining us, the founder of Staples, a company that employed many Americans. Tom Stenberg is here. Nice to see you, sir.
It's great to be here.
What's your thought about the head of the CBO saying that the Obamacare creates a disincentive for people to work?
Well, it does. And, you know, I joined the Job Creators Alliance when Bernie Marcus asked me to because I believe in creating jobs. And this administration finds ways again and again and again to eliminate jobs or give people an incentive not to work. And here, because of the subsidies for health care, you're better off not working the extra hours it takes to get you employer-paid health care. Instead, you get a subsidy from the government, which, of course, is paid for by other taxpayers. And, you know, this is just, the CBO points out a very tragic side effect of Obamacare. But it's not the only one. Every retailer in America now knows that if they hire somebody for 30 hours a week, they have to pay health care for $6,000 to $12,000 per year. On the other hand, if you work them 28 hours a week, you don't have to. So all the 35-hour-a-week jobs now in most of retail are gravitating towards 28 hours a week. And frankly, that's not something people are choosing to do. That's something being thrust upon them by virtue of this regulation of Obamacare.
Do you know anyone who has gotten successful by working less?
Not to my knowledge. There may be somebody, but I don't know them.
Do you know anybody who's been able to who's been a lower income worker, wage worker, and who has dropped out of the workforce to pursue a dream and has succeeded in pursuing their dream, as Congressman Van Hollen says?
Well, I'm sure that there are some people who go do that, and more power to them, but the odds are against them. And, you know, I just think this notion of, you know, let people stay at home, not work, let other people subsidize them, is just not the American way.
In addition to not being the American way, Congressman Paul Ryan says that it's a poverty trap, that this whole idea that where you discourage, where you have a disincentive to work, and so that you stay home because you'll get a greater subsidy. He calls that a poverty trap. Is Congressman Ryan correct or not?
I think he's 100% correct. And, you know, the people who work their way up the economic system by striving hard, often working 2 jobs, and then getting promoted and oftentimes buying their own business or starting their own business, that's the American way, and we ought to encourage that, not disincentivize that.
Now, the New York Times says that this disincentive to work under Obamacare is, quote, and this is their editorial, that it's mostly a good thing, a liberating result of the law, which is along the same line as Congressman Van Hollen. I'm curious, do you think they really believe that?
Well, I think the New York Times may believe it, but that certainly does not make it true. And I don't think it is true. I think the American way is to earn your own way in the society and not count on subsidies from others. And our taxes are plenty high already. We've got people leaving the country. We ought to get our tax system in order and get people back to work.
Tom, thank you. Nice to talk to you, sir.
Thanks for having me.